right, welcome back to our Team Glow episode. We're so excited you guys are back with us today. I have Shaneika with us in here tonight, and we are going to really have a great conversation with you guys about saying yes to yourself. But before we do, I would love to hear a little bit about you. So this is just going to be a candid conversation, me and you girls. You can talk to the camera, you can talk to me, doesn't matter.
I'll talk to you.
That
makes it, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So just tell me a little bit about your history and your background.
Okay. So I am born and raised in Little Rock.
Okay.
I actually went to Silver Hills.
Love
so
it.
From this area, went to college at UCA.
Okay.
I graduated college a few years ago, actually, as a non-traditional student. After I graduated the first time, I went back and got a second degree.
Overachiever.
Yes. So I am a clinical laboratory scientist,
Okay.
and I work for UAMS.
That is a long title.
It is.
Okay.
It is. But for sure, just a laboratory professional.
Okay.
I'm an assistant professor as well. So there's a lot of hats.
Queen.
I just recently finished my master's in August.
Okay.
And that's the gist of my life. Single, no kids.
So I love this because, when you and I got acquainted, honestly, you come into our nutrition clubs all the time. You're a product lover. When we got acquainted, I just knew you were somebody that is like, you go after what you want.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. And that's why I really wanted you to be a part of this, because I feel like it's so inspiring to meet other women that are like, hey, you can absolutely have everything you want in life. You just have to go get it.
That is fact.
100%.
That is so fact.
So no kids yet. What do you dream of in your life? What's next for you in your next chapter?
So just to kind of, sum it up, just living life.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my next goal always just come to me. I'll go ahead and just dive into it.
Yeah.
About 2017, from about 2009 to 2017, I was like super overweight, like going through college, doing all the things that I wanted to get through college. That was my first goal. That was the first time I had a goal for myself.
Okay.
Getting through college. Got through college the first time, got through it the second time. And then after college, I was like, what's the next thing that I want to do? I got a little bit of weight that I want to get rid of.
Okay.
Let's tackle that.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that, like people that struggle with their weight, they're always kind of like up and down, up and down, up and down until they kind of figure it out.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I don't want to do like the up and down anymore.
Ooh.
So I got like really, really serious about it.
What made you get serious? What was the moment where you're like, did you have a specific moment, or was it just, like, I'm fed up and I'm tired?
That's so funny. So 2018, I believe,
okay.
I went to Miami with my friends.
Okay.
And Miami will humble you.
I bet.
Will absolutely humble you.
So beautiful ladies.
And I think that was the moment for me. It was completely superficial. Like there was no like, if you don't lose weight, you're gonna lose your ankle. Or there was no like the doctor telling me to lose weight. It was seriously just like seeing all my friends like be super happy and like comfortable in their bodies, and then me over here like, I kind of want that for me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I decided that I wanted to be
amazing. Good for you,
serious
girl.
about it.
Yeah.
And there was nothing that was I wanted the moment that they were having on the beach in Miami. There was nothing that was gonna keep me from having that moment. So I got serious about it, I believe in 2020, and I lost 100 pounds.
Girl, that is so incredible.
Yeah.
Every time you tell me your result, I'm just like, even more confirmation that you are just this incredible, strong-willed woman that will just get it done. Like, that's hard to do. 100 pounds is so hard.
So incredible. Harder than any degree.
Yeah.
Harder than any. And you know what's so crazy? I didn't think that about myself. Like, I didn't think that I was a go-getter. I didn't learn that until I actually did lose the weight.
Wow.
Because it's difficult, right? You're like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I'm just going to try.
Yeah.
And me just trying and continuing to try.
Yeah.
And really just showing up for myself. Because I had moments where I was like, no, like whatever. If you can't accept me for who I am, how I am like this, then just whatever. And then I was like, no, I really want to look good in the bathing suit.
Oh, good for you. We all deserve that moment.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bathing suit or whatever it is, like living in like what we really want. It's okay to like say yes to yourself and like live in what you really want out of life.
Yeah.
Before we get into more of like saying yes to yourself, tell me like, your life before losing the weight and before, even more importantly, like before you were able to like see yourself in that new way of like, I can do these things. What was that like in comparison to your life now?
So prior to me losing the weight, I will say, just like thinking back, super insecure. Not just about how I looked, about everything, about work, you know, how I showed up for my friends.
So it trickled everywhere.
It was just, that really had a profound effect on every aspect of my life. Me being overweight, and maybe that is how I got to where I was, because it was not always like that.
Yeah.
Like when I did competitive cheer in high school, and I was not always overweight.
Yeah.
But I think just, I don't know, just being like super insecure and not really showing up for myself. I remember moments like not thinking that, oh, you know, you can't be a doctor, you can't do this, or you can't do that, you're not going to be good enough to do this. And it's completely different now.
I can tell.
Completely different.
Yeah, you aren't that girl anymore. I can tell. I love it.
Yeah. Now there's still work to be done. There is still work to be done, I think, like every day, but there's a definite difference between, you know, early 20s to now in my early 30s.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Well, good job and congratulations, 100 pounds, and also the new mindset and confidence that comes with it. I think that's something that Team Glow is all about is, you know, there are so many opportunities out there, whether it's on Instagram you see or other fitness challenges or whatever, to focus on weight. But Team Glow is about focusing like on the inside.
Yeah.
Inside out. Because when you do, and you really focus on like what happens through that journey, and you really enjoy the journey as best as you can, you'll become more than just somebody who's lost the weight and then maybe finds himself in a yo-yo for a while, right? So, you know, when we talk about this like saying yes to yourself topic, what does that mean to you? Saying yes to yourself.
Saying yes to myself, to me, means just showing up for yourself. So I am the oldest of, there's 4 of us, and I have an older brother, and there's me, and I have 2 younger sisters.
That's a big family, girl.
It is, yeah.
True. I don't know what to do with that.
And we were latchkey kids. So as the oldest girl, I cooked all the meals. Like, I made sure that my sisters' hairs were, you know, I did a lot of things as a kid. And I think that I never really just like took care of me. I was so used to taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I never showed up for myself. Until I went through this journey, of course. And so saying yes to me means that whatever I want, I'm going to do despite anything. Like, nobody's going to tell me, you know, that I can't do anything, because I'm just going to do it. Or I'm at least going to try.
Good for you.
I'm going to try.
That's so relatable. I feel like that is my personality to the T. And sometimes I feel like it's a really great thing, and sometimes society makes me want to feel like it's not a really great thing as a woman. You know what I mean? So how, let me ask you this. In moments where you may have felt like either society or people or even yourself have told you like, you can't have that. Do you have a time in your life where maybe you had a moment like that and you overcame it? Even, you know, even with your weight loss journey or anything else, even through school, where maybe you were like, maybe I can't do this.
There were many moments. Going back to college, I started school in 2008 when I graduated high school.
Okay.
It took me from 2008 to 2016 to actually finish.
Okay.
Because I had those moments where I was like, there's no way I could do this. Like I mentioned, I was a non-traditional student. I worked full time. And I did not believe that I could do it. And there were many days where I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was just like, we're just pedaling along.
Let me ask about those moments, because that's relatable to me. You know, I know we all deal with our own version of anxieties, or there's seasonal depression that some of us deal with, or whatever it is. You know, we all have our own things. When you're in the thick of it, what do you personally do to kind of get back on the horse?
That's a good question. I will say I just put on blinders. Like, I know that there's a light, even though I can't see it. I know that it's there. And so I just put blinders on, and we're just going to get there. Like, I don't care if it takes 5 minutes or 5 years. Like, we're going to get to the light.
You detach from the
external
expectation, or external circumstances, and you're like, I know deep down I can, and it will.
Yeah.
And you just go and you make a decision.
Yeah.
I love listening to Jim Rohn. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jim Rohn, but he's all over YouTube, but he's one of the great like personal development speakers of the universe, I feel like. He's passed now, but Jim Rohn is amazing. And one of the things that he always talks about is truly like living in like a belief of knowing. If you can have the belief of like truly knowing and understanding, then nothing's impossible.
Right.
So like then you just make the decisions. And, you know, I have a good friend who is always challenged with that decision, like just stepping into her own and making the decision. And one day she asked me, you know, what is it? She asked me a similar question, like, what is it for you that helps you get out of that? And I have the hardest time really thinking about what it is, but I think it comes down to just that decision.
Yeah.
It's just a decision you make, and then it's kind of like, you know, if you know you want to take a walk every single day or go to the gym every single day, it's like you just got to get out of bed and do it. Even if you don't feel like it, you just got to do it.
And don't think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to it just has to be like it can be dramatic. It just make it as dramatic as whatever it takes for you to actually do it. And all it takes is that one time. So for me, that's all it took. Like that one time where I said I committed to something and it happened. And I'm like, okay, so if this can happen, imagine all of the other things that I thought I couldn't do. I never thought I'd have a master's degree. Like, I don't know why I never thought that. Good. I just never thought. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and get my master's. And then I did.
There's a nugget there. So you had like a level of like change in belief off of one area and you applied it to something else.
Yep.
That's so huge.
Yep.
I think we all can kind of take a little inventory of like, what do we really believe in that we can do, and how can we take that level of belief and like transfer it to other things?
It is so transferable. Like once I think it's an awakening almost.
Okay.
Like you kind of got to go through the storm, and then once you get through it, it's like, if I could get through that, I can get through anything.
I like that. You know, my husband last year around this time started this challenge called 75 Hard. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he started on this rhythm where one of the workouts he did was outside, and he'd go for a run in the morning. And one day he came back and he was like, I just decided to take this book's advice. I don't remember what book he was reading, but a lot of different people say like, thank the universe around you or think certain things around you over and over and over again. Start your morning with like gratitude and a different attitude, right?
Yeah.
And he started doing that. And I started to see this level of like, oh, because he was gratitude and he started really focusing in on belief and gratitude and all these things, every bit of our life from that point through the rest of the year. I mean, we had one of the most incredible years of accomplishing things last year together because I started to do that with him.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's so important. And so this kind of relates to that, where you can take a little bit of belief and an attitude of gratitude and just like trickle it around your life.
Yeah. That's
so good. So tell me about, you know, right now in this season of where you are, you've kind of accomplished a lot of things in your life. Do you have any desire to kind of inspire other people with the things that you've done, or what does that look like?
So before you even asked me that, when you were talking about your husband and him and like you guys doing that together and he started it, that clicked for me. So I would like to, I don't know how, but I would like to I think just sharing my story is inspiring for some people.
100%.
You know, they can see themselves in like, you know, little bits of my story. And I think just like sharing that makes me feel like, you know, I'm helping other people.
100%.
And once you step into, I guess, your awakening and you feel like you have this feeling like I do.
Yeah.
It really does inspire you to help other people as well. Like I said, I don't know what that looks like, but I am interested in inspiring other people.
I love that. You know, women in general have a natural, I think most women have a natural sense of nurturing and like givingness to other people. I don't even know if that's a word, givingness. we're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
But I sense that from you. Every time I'm around you, you just have this energy about you that really eludes like, you want to be a support and you want to help other people. And I think you're on to something with that. And I hope you pursue whatever that is for you that gets you more of a platform to speak to other people, because even like this with these ladies, I know they're going to find so much inspiration from the things you've already stated. So we're super excited to have you here. So, you know, as you go through this journey of inspiring others and taking, you know, your experiences out into the world, I guess my next question for you would be, what do you desire to have back from others? As you give, as you give, as you give, it's hard for women sometimes to like think about what they want in return. But what kind of like feelings or excitement could you see that bringing back into your world that would translate into, you know, something that's just this yin and yang? That's a hard one.
It is. I would say inspiration.
Back.
Because whenever like people come up to me, people I've known since high school, like, oh my gosh, like you look great. What did you do? How did you do it? And I share that with them, and then I see them at my gym.
Yeah.
And I see their transformation, and they come back and they tell me,
"Oh," you all over again.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that one thing that I told that person that one day, you know, just led to this new cycle of life for them.
Yeah.
And they brought it back to me, and now I feel like that was enough.
Yeah.
That was enough. I don't know. I don't feel like.
I love that.
I do feel like that's enough. Yeah.
That's the most perfect answer I could have asked for, because the reason I asked that question is a lot of the times we get into a journey and we don't necessarily see ourselves as the person that like is inspiring to others. You know, maybe in the beginning for you, when you were 5 pounds down in the very beginning or 10 pounds down, you weren't thinking like, one day I want to inspire others. But sometimes we do think about in that beginning stage, because naturally humans are a little more self-concerned to a certain degree. We think about what we can get from it. And so I think the power of having a group of women is no matter where you are, no shame in any point.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, the giving and the taking is so important to have.
Right.
Because it inspires us, and then we inspire, and then we get inspired, and then we inspire. And it's this continual, like, we use this group as an accountability, but it also is a motivator.
Right.
And when we're willing to share, it helps other people share back, and we get reamped. You know, this is our last week of the 8 weeks. So after 8 weeks of going pretty strong in a new discipline for yourself, it can feel exhausting, or it can feel like, okay, can I do this again?
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to think about, like, well, it's not just what we are getting from it, but what others are getting from it, and allowing what we see around us to fuel us again. So we go again for another 8 weeks and another 8 weeks. So for you, this new lifestyle you've taken on, what, other than the weight loss and the newfound confidence, like what has shifted for you that made you want to take this like for the rest of your life?
Besides the confidence, I do think that I'm a much more happier person.
Yeah.
I think that I hated myself for a really long time.
Wow.
And stepping into like this new life that I've made for myself, I've come to just really appreciate where I was, like where I came from.
Yeah.
And I'm just a happier person. Like I lost a lot of friends throughout the process because it literally like if you can envision like a new person being born out of a shell. Like I'm just a whole different person, and for the better.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm happier with my communication with other people, my interactions with other people. Just I don't know.
It's crazy how a weight loss journey essentially can take you into a whole new life.
Yeah, and I feel like it had nothing to do with the pounds. Like I don't know. Obviously, I can't say that because the pounds were lost, but I don't know. I'm happy.
Happier, more joyful energy is just exuding from you.
Yeah, and I never want to lose that. I never want to lose that. I'm telling you. Like I hope that, you know, even if I never lose another pound from today, that I can still be like just a ray of light for myself. Not speaking about, you know, being inspiration for other people, but at least, you know, for me.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I think we as women, and I'm going to speak a little bit on culture here too, because depending on where I go, I'm half Black. Depending on where I go, there's this like stigma a little bit about whether we're really joyful on the joyful side or whether Black women are a little angry on the angry side.
Yeah.
And not to get into race too much here, but I think it's something, there's a lot to be said when any minority woman can show up with such a radiating, joyful spirit to share with the world and just showcase what's really possible when you just focus in a little bit on like daily habits.
Yeah.
It starts there, the small daily habits. And then, you know, you open yourself up for like a new dream, a new life, a new awakening.
Right.
Right. So I love that. So ladies, last week we talked a lot about finding new patterns in your life, figuring out, doing an inventory of like your friends and maybe finding some shifts where maybe shifts need to be made. Yeah. And I'm hearing a lot about the things that organically kind of happened through her journey on the way to 100 pounds down. That's so incredible. So I want to encourage you ladies in this moment to really think about, what is it for you that you truly desire to shift in your life? Not just your weight, not just your friend circle, but what do you really want out of who you're destined to be, to become more of, you know, what shows up in your world? What kind of friend, what kind of wife, what kind of human being do you aspire and know deep down you are that? You are that version, but haven't shown up as that. So as we close, I would absolutely love for you to tell me, you know, what are some of the particular traits that you used to never have? Just like specific little like character traits or personality traits that maybe like, you know, for me, I was organized in a way of panic almost, but not organized in a way of truly understanding like the awareness of what's going on and being able to organize things in my world very well. So I felt like it was more of an anxiety driven panic mode OCD versus like a very clear way of thinking organization. And so that's one of the things for me that as I've become more confident has really shifted my personality. Another example for myself would be, you know, before I was so short. I was like a very short talker. And I've become a little bit longer winded. I've become a little bit more eloquent with the way I speak and just more confident in that too. But what for you has been like a couple of examples of maybe things that the ladies can like think about and dream about for themselves?
I would say I would attribute this to just like the confidence.
Okay.
But I would never want to, prior to, never want to walk in a room and just bring the light. Like just be, I caution to say loud, but you know what I mean? When you walk into a room and you're like, hey, you know, like, hey.
Yes.
I was always that person where when I walked in the room, I just wanted to be in the corner. Like, please don't look at me. Don't even notice that I'm here. I'm just here.
I can relate.
And so now even just walking into anywhere, I could just be walking in here, like into the store.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm just so happy about seeing everybody and I want them to talk to me and I'll talk to them. And I would have never done that before.
You went from like an introvert to an extrovert.
I do think that I am a little more extroverted now than I ever was before. And maybe that's not for everybody, but I mean, I do it at the gym. Like I go up to strangers and I talk to them at the gym. And that's when I first started at my gym, I never talked to anybody. I didn't want anybody to come talk to me. I just sat and I waited for the class to
tunnel
start.
vision.
And I'm like, please don't talk to me because and now I'm like, hey everybody, you know, what's your name? My name's Shaneika, la la la. And that's probably the hugest one.
That's incredible.
That
is so incredible. And I think, you know, that in itself, like that's a drastic, you know, those are two polar opposite things. A lot of the times I hear people say, this is how I've always been. This is how I've always been. I've come to like despise that term because I'm like, it doesn't mean that's how you always have to be. Right. So we hear it here first. You don't always have to be. And it's not that we may aspire to be outgoing or extroverted, but we may aspire some things that come along with that. Right. And living richer relationships means sometimes you have to go out there and get the relationships. You have to kind of talk to people. Right. And so there's a lot of things that come along with that. I'm so glad that we had this little chat today. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope that maybe in the future we can get you involved in some other things. I got you on the spot.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed this, and awesome. I am open.
Awesome.
Yes.
You guys heard it here first. We're going to get her involved in some fun things with Team Glow. Ladies, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have finished off this amazing 8 weeks with a bang. Get yourself ready because season 2 is coming. Season 2 is going to have so much more to offer than even season 1. We're upgrading with every season, and if you haven't already heard, summertime is near. So let's get bikini ready. Let's get ready to sit by the pool and sip some mimosas together. You guys, our retreat is going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait to see you guys there. And thanks again for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.